You've got to see this.
So it's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
So that's RFK at a cabinet meeting where the president asked about, should we be concerned about this measles outbreak in Texas?
Why did you decide that these four patriots were not worthy enough to have their names on a base? Well, Senator, as you know, this was never about the names of the bases they were renamed to. So you don't challenge the worthiness.
Welcome, General Bondi. We are witnessing a level of lawlessness from this administration that is unprecedented in scale and scope. Indeed, when asked, President Trump said he didn't know whether he was required to comply with the Constitution of the United States.
So, of course, the president is within his authority. And this is my time. Thank you so much. Do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens?
The administration has the authority to...
Ma'am, I'm looking for a yes or no.
It's been 48 hours. What kind of excuses have you cobbled together?
Whatever happened on that island is legal. Ain't no laws. International waters.
You can continue with your 5 minutes of
questioning.
questioning.
The motion was to subpoena Elon Musk, who was heading Doge, who was the one that made the recommendations for these cuts, yet he is yet to come before this committee. And last time I checked, none of the witnesses sitting here know any.
During your Senate confirmation hearings, you repeatedly denied having any involvement as a private citizen in the firing of FBI officials who engaged in the prosecution against January 6th insurrectionists. The violent rioters who beat and killed Capitol.
Who pays tariffs?
Sir, the history would show that it is a complicated mix of who pays the tariffs over various times.
So that's exactly the problem. If you're answering, you are a very educated person. You're very impressive by it.
I could run a tape here of all the Republicans who said, oh, we're not going to cut Medicare. Oh, Medicare is different. Oh, we're going to protect Medicare. We've heard the president say it. It was all hogwash. It was all complete hogwash. The sneak attack is underway.
I'm not going to get into this.
Why are you going to get into specifics? Is it because it's all classified? I want to go back to what I addressed at the outset. I mean, this was not only sloppy, it not only violated all procedures, but if this information had gotten...
Director Patel, you're familiar with the Fifth Amendment.
Yes, Senator.
And you're familiar that that applies to all persons in the United States.
Yes, Senator.
There's been a lot of concern about the several hundred immigrants who were...
Do you recognize the fact that one of the important reasons that the federal government got into public education was to establish that there would be standards so that children would be treated equally in pursuing...
I have a timeline on that.
It was due last week by law.
I understand.
And your answer is you just understand you're not going to follow the law?
My answer is that I am following the law, and I'm working with my interagency partners to do this and get you the budget.
This morning I received an email from one of my long-standing staff members, and Mark runs constituent services for me, and he did so when I was governor as well. Mark sent me this morning, he reached out to send me this article that appeared on to give billionaires another $50,000 in tax breaks. I really don't know what that means. I don't know what that life is like. I don't know what it's like to have 7 houses and 4...
10 American citizens, including children with cancer, who have been deported out of the country. I understand you're saying it's their choice. But it's hard to imagine a small child having a choice. But have you gone after legal immigrants?
Please watch this video.
You bring your elderly parent to the doctor and you say, I cannot take care of my dad. He needs lifting, he needs help in the bathroom, he needs help feeding, everything. I have my own kids, I have my own job, I have my own family.
Please watch this video.
You bring your elderly parent to the doctor and you say, I cannot take care of my dad. He needs lifting, he needs help in the bathroom, he needs help feeding, everything. I have my own kids, I have my own job, I have my own family.
You know, you represented President Trump. You have a lot of obligations to him, a lawyer. You have your experience with that. So I'm not going to ask you to respond to this. You will almost certainly disagree. But the narrative that has developed around here, that the reason that President Trump was...
You are not currently prepared for this posting, period, and you need to shape up and do some homework.
Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth is a combat veteran who served in the Iraq War in 2004. She lost both her legs when a helicopter crashed after being hit by a rocket-propelled grenade.
I'll be honest with you, I find it pretty offensive that you are trying to maintain that there is some good faith review happening at USAID when the representatives of the administration in charge of...
Because it's important to show why we're different from the enemy. Because we're not the enemy, right? We're different from our adversary. Would you agree with that? We have different morals and different values.
We are not the enemy, sir.
We have different morals and we have different values than the enemy.
Is $7.25 an hour, is that enough to live on in America in the year 2025?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. I know Ranking Member Sanders asked the same question. I recognize that in this room just a few moments ago, our friends across the aisle used the word garbage to refer to our fight to protect your Social Security.
I'm sorry to remind you, you are not a governor. You're not even a candidate for governor. You're here, and this is my time. Not only have you supported dictators that have supported policies that erode democracy, you also spread claims promoted by Russian state media that the...
Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last.
Your department is out of control. You are spending like you don't have a budget. You're on the verge of running out of money for the fiscal year. You are illegally refusing to spend funds that have been authorized by this Congress and appropriated by this committee. You are ignoring the immigration laws of this nation.
Who out there in the American public is sitting at home demanding that we shut down cancer research and Alzheimer's research? We're going to pay for this not just in lives and children's lives right now, but we're going to pay for this for a century.
I presume you don't think Trump is a good president.
No.
Do you see him as a bad president who's wrong about a lot of things, or as an existential threat to democracy in this country?
I would go well beyond bad president. There are presidents who...
So here's the thing, Madam Secretary, and why I strongly believe that you're wrong. One big risk I see right off the bat is that some states, again, the state I represent, Arizona, have an abysmal track record of managing education. After years of...
In my central New Jersey district, there's a Flemington resident of more than 10 years by the name of Kareem Daoud. He was recently detained by ICE after being asked to show up to their Newark office to fix an administrative mistake. To be clear, Mr.
Mayor Wu, do you manage
We
your
have
budget or
the
not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city